Going on, y'all? Shields up. Yeah. So today's reading is just gonna be kind of like a freestyle. Okay. I almost was kind of like letting recent events, you know what I'm saying, knock me a little bit, but no, tried it. I tried it. So anyway, I feel like some of you may be experiencing similar things where it just feels like, you know, that you're in a process of growth. You know that you're in a leveling up phase of your journey, and you are bound to have, connections that are kind of like popping back around, right? As it happens, as the universe's way to see, are you really serious about where you're going? Are you serious about the things you're requesting, the experiences that you're asking to have, right? And that shows up sometimes in, things from that are tied to previous versions of yourself, right? Habits that you've already given up, and things that are resurfacing as we're approaching Mercury retrograde to see, have you learned the lesson? Are you, really on this new trajectory? Have you really embodied this new version that say you have, right? And so, of course, that's the shit that I've been hit with lately. And it was kind of like, oh, this is fun. This is fun, right? So, people sometimes want, your readings to be about them. They want your, things that you, if you especially have an online presence, they, want to make it about them, when it's like, actually it wasn't. But, if the shoe fits Cinderella, wear that bitch. Okay. So, it's just, but I'm, continuing to overstand that that's a part of the game, right? That's a part of this process, is when people, that maybe you used to deal with haven't grown in certain ways. They're still looping cycles, looping certain mindsets, projecting, deflecting, all these things. And then to feel like they're being left behind, to feel, a sense of rejection that they haven't dealt with, you know what I'm saying? Then, especially if you've already had the experience before, you already know what time it is. You already know what the fuck's going on. So it's just kind of like one of those things where it's like, damn, I thought that, I thought we got beyond this. I thought that things were different, but I guess fucking not. But it just lets you know the difference between where you're vibrating and where other people are vibrating. When you're not on that same vibration and frequency, and they feel like, you've essentially moved on without them, or went a different direction than the way they're going. It doesn't make you better. It just, it's different. They don't like that. And, be unapologetic. Okay. So here we fucking are. All right. Yeah. So let's get into this. See what spirit wants to bring our awareness to, bring our attention to. I just feel like, you know, it's like the whole idea of the splitting of the planet is happening more, right? People who aren't doing the work, they're actively feeling, they could tell, they're sensing the detachment, they're sensing the disconnection of, that makes their ego, right, feel like they're being left behind. That's an ego thing. And it's not any of our jobs to do anything about that. It's not my job to fix anybody. It's not my job to heal anybody. I do what I can, how I can, when I can. But when it crosses, a major boundary, and it turns into blatant disrespect, and, all the things that it doesn't have to be, that it should have never been, just lets you know, like, oh, okay, I see what time you're on. Yeah. Yeah. You can keep that. You can keep all of it. Right. So let's see, spirit for the collective. What's going on? People want a little bit of your time and attention. So, there it is. See what I'm saying? 44, attraction. Because you're attractive, collective. Okay, you're attractive. You're attracting the life you want. You're attracting new experiences, abundance. Okay, in all of its forms. Okay, because you can have an abundance of lack as well. People just say abundance, and that can mean abundance of what, though, right? We got to be more specific about what we're speaking. What we're speaking in regards to. But it feels like you collective are this energy that you're in that's attractive is magnetism. It's magnetizing your desires, the things you've been requesting, things you've been asking for, things you've been actually putting in conscious fucking effort towards. Okay. When people aren't doing the same thing, of course they're not going to get it. Of course they're going to think you're lying. You're just full of shit. You think you're better than, and all that. Like, no, that's just your ego projecting and deflecting as always. So let's see what else for the collective spirit. Yep, masculine. And it fell in reverse. So this is giving me, it's like a wounded masculine energy. Okay, so some of you may be, dealing with people who are in their wounded masculine energy that, aren't taking action on their own dreams, on their own goals, right? Because they're burdened. They're still carrying shit from their past, shit from their ancestral cycles that they have not broken. Okay, it has nothing to do with you, right? The things that people choose to, handle, it's like, it's not our fault, the things that happen to us, but it is our responsibility of our own healing, right? And a lot of people aren't ready to take that responsibility. That has nothing to do with you, right? The same way how people feel about me, how they judge me and misunderstand me and make it a point to misunderstand me, okay? They ain't got shit to do with me. I've always, been 10 toes down on all this shit, on not only myself, finding myself, being as honest as I can be with myself and others, even when it hurts, even when it's embarrassing. I still stand 10 toes down, especially after I started this journey 9 years ago. Like none of that has changed, right? But, I can't speak for everybody. That's just the fact of the matter. So, some of you, this may be your own personal energy as well. Okay. There may be some masculine wounds that you're still working through as to explaining why maybe you're attracting, thank you, Spirit, why you're attracting or, finding yourself coming into the same frequency as these people. Okay. Is because it's showing you that maybe there are some still wounded masculine energy that you're dealing with, and myself included. That could very well be what this is showing you. Like, oh, you still got a little residual there. It's not to say that you haven't moved past a lot of these things. You haven't, actually transmuted a lot of that energy, but is very well possible that there are still some residuals. And see, when you're a fucking real one who's actually doing the motherfucking work, like a lot of you are collective, you know what I'm saying? You can admit that. I can admit that, right? Not everybody can. So they take it personal because you're able to be real with yourself in that way, and they can't. You're doing things they can't do. You're doing things that they haven't allowed themselves to do, and they get mad at you because you're being, because you're actually living that shit. That's what the fuck it is, right? So it just feels like some of you maybe, like I said, aligning with people, even if it's from your past, men that maybe have hurt you, that have, belittled you, try to downplay your greatness, right? Same as me. And it just shows, it's a reflection essentially of showing us the wound of maybe where our, excuse me, see, trying to shut down my throat chakra, trying to keep me from talking, then it's just still gonna come out. It is. Anyway, but those of us who have had father wounds, right? When our father wasn't there, those, men who have wounded us because their father wasn't there. You see how that, like how they say hurt people, that's essentially what that means, right? Where people are presented to us that show us the wound that we're still carrying. Okay. And so it's up to us to be able to be so self-aware to where we're able to identify. That's why they came on my radar, is to see, are you still vibrating in this past energy and frequency that you first met them at, or that you used to be, that would bring this person into your frequency? Or are you vibrating higher than that? Are you vibrating where you should be vibrating? Are you vibrating from a place of awareness and healing, knowing that you're doing the fucking work, right? There's always going to be work to do, but have you been doing what you know that you could be doing up until this point, right? That's going to be an individual thing for everybody. So, but it just feels like some of you, if you find yourself aligning to energies that maybe it's like a different person, but the same type of situation, right? That just means it's a frequency, it's a loop, it's a pattern that is trying to, that is presenting itself to you in order to be healed. Okay. So it's like, if you find yourself, dealing with the same type of individual, but showing up in a brand new person, it's that's how you know it's a spirit. Okay, whether it's an attachment to that person, that spirit is jumping from different houses, so to speak, like jumping into different cars, which is aka our vessel. It's essentially showing you, how, like showing you what you still can work on. Not saying you have to, but it's your choice, right? It's making it, making you aware, bringing awareness so you can understand, oh, that's why that's happening. Oh, that's where this person came from. Oh, that's, you know what I'm saying? And then you can choose how to respond to that, right? So if you find yourself, and what I'm also getting here too is that some of you are also aligning, as with that attraction card, is aligning with your with the things that you're asking for, but there is some action that maybe needs to be taken at this time. And if you find yourself not taking action, that can also be tied to a wounded masculine energy. Okay. maybe times where you've observed other people in your life where they didn't protect you, like maybe whoever, you know, your father was, right? Even if your father was never there, or, you know, a father figure that didn't show up for you the way you needed to as a child, that can still be indicative of where if my father just left when things got hard, right, or responded in a really toxic kind of way, that can explain where when it's time for you to take action towards certain things, getting things done, making things happen, you might find that difficult, okay? And that could, it's like, that's how this shit works. It shows up in a multitude of different ways. And it's not, you know, a one size fits all type of thing. It's very situational. It's very individual. Okay. So let's keep going. See what else is going on. You know what? I'm going to switch decks. So I haven't used this deck in a real long time, y'all, but this type of reading, it's definitely fitting for it. So this is the first deck I created, I should say, the first deck I created. That is all, you know, handwritten cards. And I just counted them, these today. I know there's more, but the ones that I have on hand, there's 96 of them. So I'm going to dive in, see what this deck has to say, okay, about whatever is coming up for us at this time, all right? So none of us are exempt, okay? And I don't ever try to play and act like I am, right? But I know my power as well. So it's like, try it if you want to. You see what I'm saying? New you, who's that? You see what I'm saying? Like, some of you have definitely embraced a new version of yourself, but now it's time to actually step in. That's what is also what I'm getting here for you guys is some of you have aligned, right? You've attracted this new version of yourself, this new timeline, but some of you have not yet stepped into the version of you that is able to hold the frequency, that is able to sustain the results of what it is you're asking for. Okay, so it's like, this is Spirit's way. It feels like a confirmation of letting you know that you have leveled up in some type of way. You have stepped into a new version, but some of you are still doing the old thing. You're still operating from an old frequency. You're still operating from an old version, an outdated version of yourself, and then wonder why, you know, there's other things that are popping back in. Well, if you're vibrating from a, you know, a place that is wounded, right? If you're vibrating from a place that is unhealthy, imbalanced, right? Then, you know what I'm saying? The results that you see outside of that are going to reflect the same, right? It's like, it's not about who you, it's like, it's not about, help me out, Spirit. It's not about what you say, but it's more about who you're being, okay? You can say a lot of things, but your actions will always speak louder than your words, okay? So some of you, this is your confirmation, okay? Just confirmation burp, right? Some of you have stepped into a new version of yourself, but you haven't yet really maybe taken the action steps required to allow yourself to really see and observe in the physical realm that you have actually changed, that things that you have actually moved and shifted into a new timeline. But there's the thing, there's like there's so many parallel timelines that we can jump into, right? Just as a scene in the movie, right? The next scene, the slightest changes, the very minuscule changes that you wouldn't even be able to really see with your naked eye, doesn't mean it's not a new scene. You see what I'm saying? So just because you're not seeing things change doesn't mean that you're not in a new timeline. It doesn't mean that you haven't embodied the next version of yourself, okay? But if we're not, meaning the actions we're taking, if we're not, you know, acting from the place of this is a new scene, I'm embodying a new character the way you would in a movie, right? Then of course what you're experiencing won't change either. And then then you're like, that didn't work, this shit doesn't work. And then you're back at where you started. You see what I'm saying? So some of you may be having that experience as well. And like I said, it feels like that card came out to confirm for some of you that you have actually shifted, but it's now time for you to step in and take the actions, okay, that is required. That is masculine energy. That is what masculine energy is about. Is action, okay? It's not just energy. It's not just masculine, but it's about doing something. What are you now that you see this here, what are you going to do with it? You got the idea. Now what are you going to do with it? You landed that job. Are you going to call them back? Are you going to set up your interview? Are you going to show up? You know what I'm saying? It's like, what is the next step that you could possibly take that is in alignment with what you asked it for, what you've asked for, what is that is also in alignment with what you've attracted, okay? Or are we going to be in this place of carrying old baggage, carrying things that are dead weight, okay? All those, you see all those, you know what I'm saying, snakes looking vines and all that. Some of them are green, some of them are brown, okay? That's indicative of you're carrying dead weight. Some of it's good, some of it isn't, but it's up to you to take the time to sort through that stuff and decide what can stay, what can go, right? What needs to stay, what needs to go. And then underneath that, surrender, okay? This is about literally giving up, right? What no longer serves, giving up what you've been holding to in order to help lighten your weight to keep going, right? because things are changing, okay? But you have to be willing to step into your power and have the faith required to know that if I take action the way I'm guided, that I will continue to see the results of based off of what I've attracted. You see what I'm saying? How this all just like the domino effect. That's what this is here. Okay. So let's keep going. Let's keep going. I also saw this post earlier today that was so fucking fitting, and I was just like, wow, that's so true. That people, it was something to the effect of people respond from their wounds, not their wisdom. And I was like, that was tea. Clock that shit. Okay. People respond from their wounds, not their wisdom. And I was like, yes. Right? Shit's crazy. It is what it is. It's not my journey. Not my circus, not my monkeys. Period. And that's not me trying to call people monkeys. That's just me saying the silliness of people's bullshit. It's not for me to play in that game. Really. So people take what you say and flip it a million ways other than the way it fucking came out. So your girl don't got no time. I don't got no time, no energy for it at all. What else, Spirit? For the collective, please. Today's the 29th, 33rd. So we got 2 days, y'all. 2 days till Halloween, All Hallows Eve. If I was still celebrating holidays, that is my fave. It could be Halloween all year long for me. Like, I love it. So I'm like, yeah, let's go. Let's fucking go. Let's see. What else, Spirit, for the collective, please? Clear, accurate messages for highs and base, but only as pertains to the spread. Your authenticity is needed now more than ever. Okay. So some of you, this is about really stepping into your authenticity. That could be another reason why that card in the masculine is in reverse. Okay. Or came out, I should say, in reverse, is because some of you, it's like you've attracted something that you've asked for, but you haven't. It's like some of you are still dealing with maybe imposter syndrome. You're still, and I dealt with that for a really long time, and then I kept having to, the work that I had to do behind the scenes was asking, please show me, continue to show me what I need to see. Show me that what I'm doing is correct. Show me that my readings are accurate. Show me that I am supposed to be, this is the role I'm supposed to play in this movie, type of thing. You have to ask and be specific and let the universe show you, let the answers be given to you, right? So some of you would really benefit. It would take you a lot further, it feels like, by letting yourself really step into this as like you asked for this. Now it's time to step into this and be like, I have it now. I am it now, right? Like, what are we waiting for? What are we waiting for anymore? Anything else, Spirit, from this deck? And then we'll jump into some tarot, see what other messages come out. And I'll close out with my other Signs and Synchronicities Oracle deck, because that deck be hitting on point too. So let's see. Oh yeah. Yeah. So I feel like some of y'all are dealing with the same kind of shit. Okay. See that big old red flag at the bottom? Immature, controlling, deceptive, manipulative, opportunist. See, they want me to be fucking up my words to not get this message. I don't give a fuck. You hear me? You hear me? I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna get it out. I don't care. And you know what else I'm gonna say real fast for those that don't like, us readers that use cuss words? Just know that it's deeper than that. Okay. We curse and allow ourselves to cuss, not out of vulgarness or not out of violence or anything negative in that way, but it's about refusing to conform to what isn't true. Okay. When we cuss, it's out of passion. It's about, especially when you know that you're one of those who've been suppressed for so long, and you have people in your life throughout your whole life who's done that to you, who sees the light in you, who sees the gifts in you and all the things, right? And instead of allowing them to cultivate that same shit within themselves because you've been doing it, they want to continue to bring you down and try to shut your voice down and keep you from speaking, keep you from expressing. Okay. That's why we do it. It's not about, it's our way, our soul's way, basically, of expressing itself, I should say, in the most realist, raw, authentic form. And only people who get offended by curse words or cuss words is because they haven't dealt with their own trauma around it. Either whether it's a mindset that they've been taught about it, or because they never had the gumption to do it themselves, to actually express and say things they want to say because they were taught it was bad, because they've been shut down in some type of way and they never healed that trauma to let themselves actually be free enough to express. That's just the fact of the matter. So, you know, if it triggers you, then that just means it's something for you to look at. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to be offensive at all. I'm just being honest. And I'm not here to, this channel at all is not here to cupcake and sugarcoat and handhold and pacify. I'm not here for that. Okay. I've been doing the work for the last 9 fucking years and it has been anything but a walk in the park. And that's just real. So I've earned my place, okay, to speak how the fuck I want to on my platform because I've done the fucking work to be here. Period. My following has nothing on the work I've done energetically, and it never will. And that's why it feels like, you know, certain things that I thought I needed, I don't need validation from a channel. I don't need validation from the internet, okay? Because I live this shit real life all the time, okay? I don't do this shit for aesthetics. So anyway, because even when I messed up on the words, right? Someone who's not operating in their authenticity would have, you know, would edit that part out, right? I don't need to edit anything because this is my soul's way of showing up in our most authentic, raw, and expressive self, period. And people are going to judge you anyway. People are going to judge you regardless. So, you know what I'm saying? Let them judge. Because if anything, people are judging me because I was judging myself. That's me being accountable to be able to even acknowledge that. When people judge me, that's just reflecting where I was judging myself. So people are either going to fuck with you or they're not. So, but yeah, let's start over, shall we? Immature, controlling, deceptive, manipulative, opportunist, shit starter. Okay? Some of you, that's exactly what the fuck you're dealing with. And that's why it's so important for you to be in your authenticity, because what happens is that in due time, you can easily see, as well as whoever has gotten involved, okay, can easily be able to tell who's who, what's what. They can easily tell, oh, the common denominator is really you and not the person you try to put it on. Yeah. You know, when you look at people and they have so many things go awry in their life, so many connections they had that just disappear and fall off the map, at some point, you know what I'm saying? It's like, maybe the problem is me. And a lot of people don't like to do that. They don't like to look themselves in the mirror like that. Okay. So be mindful of people that may be returning, people that are around you that you're aligning with that may be have wounded masculine energy, especially if they're men. Okay. Or I should say males, okay. Just know that a lot of people, you know, that you may be aligning with at this time is you know, showing you where your own masculine energy may be still a bit wounded. Okay. And that's just what it is. We know what we've been through, and that doesn't mean that you're not deserving and worthy of being treated better. You have to choose that first, though. And that's exactly where I'm at. I'm choosing the shit for myself. That's why certain shit I used to tolerate, I don't anymore. Putting myself in environments that I know I've outgrown, I'm not doing that anymore. And that's just what the fuck it is. I stopped smoking weed over 4 fucking months ago. Okay, so why the fuck would I be surrounding myself with people who still do? So I can go backwards into a version that I don't, you know, that I've asked, specifically requested to come out of because it wasn't helping me. It was fucking with my productivity. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit's crazy. Anyway, what else, Spirit? So yeah, I feel like some of you have definitely aligned with a new version of yourself. And now it's time to really embrace that. Now it's time to step into that. It's time to embody that. Okay? Like in a real way. What else, Spirit? For the collective, please. Anything else from this deck? Clear, accurate messages for the collective. Also, I'm gonna make a disclaimer on this when I actually record the video, another reading from the 7-part series that I'm starting. But let me just quickly say this. If you book a reading with me, okay, please send an email or a DM on Facebook or a DM on TikTok. Okay, a super chat does not fucking count, all right, as a payment for service. That has never been one of the ones of method of payment that I've requested, that I have said, stated ever. You know why? Because for one, I don't get notified about them, so I miss it completely. For two, the reason being is because until my channel is monetized, I don't see them. I don't see the notification for them. I don't see payment for them. Therefore, I would be doing free work. Okay, which that ain't even the point. It's just the point of, if I have specific things laid out and set in place for the way I run things over here on my page, on my channel, okay, with my services, on my platform, in my practice, okay, that needs to be followed. So a super chat is a donation, okay? It is not payment for a service. All right? So email, Facebook message, or TikTok DM, okay? Stating specifically what it is that you want, all right? Because I'm not chasing anybody to figure out what service they want. If you pay for it and I'm asking you the question, you refuse to answer, then you lose out. You see what I'm saying? And then you send it via Cash App. It's that simple. It's really that simple, okay? There will be, I will be putting up listings though, okay, for this on my Gumroad and Beacons pages. But until then, all right, it's really simple to send an email, a DM on either TikTok or Facebook, okay, and schedule a reading. You know what I'm saying? It's really not that hard. Super chat though is not a valid way of paying for a service though, not for me. So I've never brought that up as an option. I've never mentioned it as an option. Okay, that is for donations. I thought that was like a known thing across the YouTube the YouTube platform in general. I've never seen people use a super chat as a payment unless that's something they're doing while on a live, okay, which I have only done once. Okay, so far. I will be going live, I will be starting to go live soon, but until then, okay, super chat is not, it's a donation. It's not payment for service, okay? Just saying. Oh, it's so interesting, this one. So 1707, for some of you, that could be a number that you're seeing, a number of significance, okay? That you could be seeing that on the clock, license plates, you know, however it shows up for you. And then a fresh start, what they call a fresh start, isn't always a new place, but a shift and new mindset, surrender. So it's so interesting that hashtag surrender is here on this card when the second card underneath of the bottom of that deck is surrender. So, okay. Some of you may be seeking a fresh start, needing to do something new. But you know, it feels like some of you, that could be why you're not taking action, okay? Where you're thinking like, oh, I've attracted this, but it's not showing up in the way you want it to. But for some of you, that's where you're missing it, okay? Because it's Spirit's way of, it has to start up here first. Before you can see anything shift externally, it must start spiritually, energetically, which is through your mindset, okay? If that's not open, right, then of course you're not going to take action, because you didn't get the inkling, you didn't get the download, the crown load about what to do. See what I'm saying? So for those of you who've been needing like a new start, or like saying like, I just need to, you know, do this or that, I need a fresh start, I need to move, I need to leave, I need to do this, start here. Especially if you feel like it's not possible yet, or if you don't got maybe the money to do it, you maybe don't have a clue where you're going to go, that's where you start. That's the starting point, is your mindset. Okay, shifting your mindset to surrender to what is. Like, this is what I'm dealing with right now. I don't like it, but I know that it's temporary, right? That is the instant mindset shift in itself. Okay, so take what you can. Okay, take what applies. If it ain't yours, leave it alone. Leave it for whoever it's meant for. Okay, don't make this reading personal. It's not. Okay, it's not personal. It's spiritual. All right, it's time to go. Like I said, some of you, that is exactly what this is about, where you're aligning with the new opportunity, but some of you maybe haven't just yet adopted the mindset to actually take the action to have the new opportunity. You see what I'm saying? So take it as it applies. So let's see what else is going on, Spirit, for the collective. Woo. So we have mending and here and now. Okay. 32 and 52. That's interesting. 5 and 7. 5s represent change. Okay. Sometimes conflict, new beginnings. All right. Well, things that are changing, which can be something new. But 7 is also a spiritual number. That's my life path number. Some of you may be a life path 7. Okay. 52 and 32 could be life path numbers as well, as you reduce them down to a single digit. But it feels like this is, you know, a mending that may be trying to take place here, where it's like, in order for you to heal, maybe what is keeping you from moving forward in some type of way, it's going to require you to let go of the past, maybe acknowledge it, acknowledge what happened. And doesn't mean that it was okay that it happened, but when you allow yourself to accept that this is what took place, this is my experience, you see what I'm saying? Validate yourself, right? Especially when you don't seem like you're able to get validation from outside. It's not meant to be. You're not meant to always get validation from other people, and that's okay. Especially when that doesn't happen, you know what I'm saying? That's just a further indication that the validation needs to come from within. Okay. A lot of people don't want to hear that. And that's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm telling you what you need to hear. And that's just the fact of the matter. I've had to learn that shit the hard way as well. Right? When you know that what you deserve, you know you deserve an apology, you know you deserve to be seen properly, and people just refuse to do it. You just have to understand that a lot of people, like I said earlier, are operating from their traumas. They're operating from their wounds. They're not operating from wisdom. They're not operating from the lessons they learned. Why? Because they have not done the work to learn the fucking lesson to be able to respond to other people, you know what I mean, from that place. Period. You know, so if they haven't done that for themselves, how could they possibly hold that space for us? Or anybody else, I should say. Yeah, right? So I feel like some of you, spirit is really asking you to be able to embrace this new phase, this new journey, is to allow your heart to mend. Okay, some of you may really benefit, which is something I've been doing lately as well, is I changed the wording of it though, because I've been reading this book called Spiritual Hacking, and it's a shaman book, right? And as I'm like embracing more of that journey myself, it's he calls it soul talk, right? Which is basically speaking to your inner child every day. And I change it to sacred conversations. Okay. And they are sacred conversations with my inner child, you know, talking to her every day, making it one of my tasks, my daily tasks, so I don't forget. And just, you know, having a conversation with, telling her all the things that I enjoy about her, that I like about her, and that, you know, I'm here for her, I'm protecting her, I'm keeping her safe, and, you know, asking her questions and things like that. Just whatever comes up, having that conversation. And so as I'm looking at this card here, okay, for some of you, this is about healing something from the past, or healing another, like a previous version of yourself that is obviously not here anymore. And that's why I feel like in the, you know, in particular, the wings here is like indicative of a version of you that is no longer in the physical, right? So meaning like your inner child, the version of you that you're no longer embodying currently. Okay. This could even be, you know, maybe some hurt you're still holding on to from, you know, a family member, a relative, whoever, right? That maybe isn't here anymore. Maybe there's closure that you didn't get to get with this person, or you didn't get to apologize to them before they left, you know, however that, you know, whatever applies. But you would benefit by allowing yourself to go within and accept that this is what happened, and allow yourself to say, I forgive myself. I forgive them for whatever the role they've played, but I also forgive myself for the role that I played, because we both, you know what I'm saying? We stay stuck when we don't allow ourselves to be accountable for the role we contributed to a situation, especially when it didn't go our way. You know what I'm saying? Whether you could have done something different or not, it's about acknowledging that if I could have done more, I would have. And I forgive you for not being able to do more. You see what I'm saying? However that, whatever you need to say, and allow yourself to be in the present moment. Okay. Allow yourself to be in the moment of here, not here and now, because every now moment is the next and the next and the next, but the present, right? Present. So let's see what else. Spirit for the collective. What are you trying to make us aware of at this time? What is the collective attracting? What are we aligning to at this time? What is going on? The star. I just saw 3355. 3355. Okay. Those are repeating numbers as well. All right. The star. Some of you, this could definitely be an Aquarius energy. Some of you may be an Aquarius. We have Aquarius rising. Your North Node may be an Aquarius. Okay. But this energy is also about healing. Okay. This is about your destiny, meaning that the things that have happened were destined to play out the way they did. Okay. But you're also in a place, wherever you're at now, it's a part of your destiny to be there. No matter how it feels, no matter the way it's just a matter of the way you're looking at it. But wherever you're at in your life, in your phase, in your journey, okay, you're destined to be there. So you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Okay. And as it needs to change, it will. All right. So for some of you, this is, again, also about wish fulfillment. Okay. Something that you've been asking for, like I spoke on earlier. Okay. Something that you've attracted, that you've been asking for, it's here. But some of you have not yet maybe healed the father wound in yourself enough to step into it, to take action. That is for some of you, the action that is being required to take is stepping into this new version, even if it's with your mind, even if it's just a mindset shift that I am now her, I am now him, I am now this version, I am now this type of person. You see what I'm saying? Some of you just haven't given yourself the chance to do that yet. Because people can, it's just the same as like when people play the lotto, right? And they win a bunch of money, but they typically lose it not too long after. Why? Because they didn't change their mindset. Maybe the circumstance outside of them changed, but if they didn't change the mindset to maintain it, is why they lose it. Do you see what I'm saying? Why this whole mindset thing was so important, with why that came up earlier, that a fresh start isn't always a new place, but a shift and mindset, a new mindset. Okay. So some of you, that's what you're being asked to do. So even if you can't take action steps towards something, right? Start with what you do have, which is what they can't take from you. That's why I love this shit so much, and why I harp so much on the energy and all that, because that's one thing that people cannot take from you. People can take money, they could take attention, right? They could take things, materialistic things, right? They could take opportunities, but they cannot take your fucking mindset unless you give it to them, unless you allow it, right? So that's what you work on, the things that people cannot take, okay? With the devil, that flipped in reverse, Capricorn fucking energy. Okay, just saying, 2 major arcanas back to back. All right, devil in reverse. This is about you've healed. Okay, that's why some of you are now in alignment with the new version. Okay, with this new you who's that. Okay, some of you, that's why things aren't resonating anymore. That's why some of you are coming out of connections that are just like this, toxic as fuck. Okay, things, people that were, that are fearful, like I said, in fear, keeping you in fear, trying to make you scared, to keep you where you don't belong, trying to fearmonger you, okay, and to make you feel like you're making a mistake, and you're not. Why? Because you've done the fucking work. You've healed, okay? You've done your part. You've done what you needed to do in order to come out of that energy, in order to free yourself from the bindings that try to keep you stuck in an old version that you don't belong in. See how that shit turned out, huh? Look, with the 6 of Swords at the bottom, okay, coming out of difficulties, okay, moving into calmer shores, things improving, all right? That's what y'all don't see, though. That's what you don't see. Things are already improving, but some of you guys haven't, again, stepped into this new version because you're not seeing it physically, so you don't think it's happening, right? Just like what I've talked about a few readings ago on my snake plant, right? Before that other piece came above the surface, I didn't know anything was happening, but I kept watering it every so often, only because it's a really low maintenance plant. So I didn't know that. Let me show you. You see how much this new leaf has grown? Okay. Before, I didn't even know anything was coming up till it was about right here. That's when I saw it. And I was like, oh shit, I didn't know a whole new piece had grown, because I replanted this one from my plant that's way bigger. I didn't know it would grow a whole new one on the side of it, completely separate, but right next to it, right? Like right next to it. I didn't know anything was happening, but I kept watering it. You see what I'm saying? That I did what I could. That's the action I could take, which was every so often just putting some water on it, right? So it feels like some of you are maybe, still thinking that you're stuck in something that you're not, or you're not taking action because you don't see the sprout above the surface yet, as it pertains to your, whatever it is you requested, or this new timeline, or this, energetic shift. That's where you start with your mind. Let your mind start reiterating the change that you've already made. Okay, let this reading be proof you've made the change, but you have to be willing to embody it. Okay, for it to show itself physically. Let's see, what else, Spirit? Ooh, the moon. Okay, like I said, hidden. This is again about your subconscious. This is about your subconscious mind. 3 major arcanas now, back to back to back. Okay, the moon energy. This is Cancer energy. This is about your emotions. Okay, some of you, this also speaks, like I said, of hidden energy. Okay, things that are underneath the surface, things we're not aware of. So for some of you, this is again talking about you have a wish fulfillment that is right here, that is pulling you out of something that was toxic, things that made you feel stuck, tied, bound. Okay, you're freed of that. But some of you, it just hasn't revealed itself because maybe you haven't adopted the mindset that allows you to actually see it and project it from your third eye to see it as as a reality. I'm just saying, it's so interesting. And that's where I feel like the mending and the here and now energy comes in as well. Okay, that when you allow yourself to make peace, right, as in the mending, making peace with your past, making peace with what is, accepting it. It is what the fuck it is. Do I like it? No, you don't have to like it, but it's about accepting it. It doesn't mean that you're being complacent by accepting it. It doesn't mean that you're choosing stagnation to accept it. It just means that this happened. Now what am I going to do to move myself forward? You see what I'm saying? So, and another major arcana. I can't even make this shit up. The Temperance. 4 major arcanas, y'all. This is a major, now it makes sense. Full circle. It's like this is coming back full circle. It's making sense why this came out, why this is the first card. New you? Who's that? You see what I'm saying? It's like people are trying to pop back in your experience. They don't even know who you are anymore. It's like you have to reintroduce yourself to them because you've changed so much. It's like, who the like this person? I don't even recognize them, and that's why they act the way they do, because they think they know you and they don't really, because you're not even who you used to be. Just because you might physically look the same doesn't mean you hold the same frequency. Doesn't mean your heart has changed, right? But the way you move, the way you respond, the way what you tolerate, the things you don't, what you put yourself around, what you repel, right? All the things. You're not the same version of yourself. Okay? So, but it's just indicative of those who haven't done the healing. You have 2 cards of healing here but from the beginning to the end. Okay? 2 cards of healing. Patience. Sagittarius energy. Okay, with the 8 of Cups at the bottom. Exactly. This is walking away from shit that doesn't serve you. Walking away from people that don't serve you. People who want you to stay stuck because that's exactly how the fuck they feel. You did the work. They chose not to. That's nothing to do with you. That's just simple. That's not me trying to be an asshole. That's just actual and factual. Okay? Ain't nobody taking that shit from me ever. I know what the fuck I've been through. I know what the fuck I've been going through over the past 9 years. Behind the scenes, I don't talk about. I don't come to people asking them for help. I don't do none of that. So I be goddamn if anybody gonna try to act like I'm just this person, this, evil, mean ass person, because they feel entitled. Please. We're going somewhere. Entitle yourself to your own life in a real way. I'm not even kidding. Shit. Last thing you're gonna do is come over here acting entitled. Please. Better be happy you had the access as long as you had it. For real. Scissors. You see what I'm saying? I just split the deck. Scissors at the fucking bottom. I can't even make this shit up. Time to cut out a habit and or connection that's out of alignment. Okay? Start fresh / new. Big chop. New you, who's that? A fresh start isn't always a new place, but a new mindset. Comfort fucking nation. Okay? Oh, I love this shit so much. Sharp tongue, words cut deep. Yep. Make adjustments. I'm just saying. People be trying it and they got me fucked up. Completely fucked up. Anyway. Spirit, let's close. What is the message or synchronicity for the collective that they either have been seeing as confirmation or that they should be looking out for, please, as pertains to this message? I was not expecting this reading to be this long, y'all, but, you could always 2x it. If you've stuck around up until this point, I'm grateful for you. Ooh. Yeah. Angels. Okay. This is divine protection. You already know you're protected. Ancestors don't fuck around when it comes to you. So people think they trying it. Yeah. Fuck around and find out if you want to. You're always being watched. Act with integrity. As always. Okay. Communication from the other side. You're always protected. Do the right thing even when no one is watching. That's acting with integrity, literally. So, okay. Angels are watching you though. So people think they coming for you and shit. Just know you ain't got nothing to worry about. Okay. So we also have fruits and veggies that came out. Okay. Live to eat, not die. Focus on healthy eating diet. Consider plant-based diet / plant-based diet fasting. Learn, study chakra correspondences, keys to healing. Start a garden. Okay. We already been talking about that too. But I feel like this is more so speaking to the vibration, okay, the frequency. When you eat high vibrational foods, it puts your spirit on a different frequency to where when people are trying to spiritually attack you and think they're getting away with shit and trying to throw projections your way energetically and all that, it don't even hit you. It don't bother you. Why? Because you're not vibrating on that frequency. They're trying to talk to you on one channel and you're talking on, on a whole different channel. Of course, it doesn't mean that that's still not happening on that timeline, right? on that frequency, but you're not hearing it because you're listening to Jazi 90, right? And they're listening to 92.5. They're on two different, stations, two different channels. So it's like, but when you eat plant-based diets and shit, the stuff that I've been eating, okay, high vibrational foods, it puts you on a different frequency. So that way, when people are trying to come to you, even with sickness, right, all of it's energy. So when people say they're getting sick or whatever, that's just frequency. Okay, that's the frequency you're aligning with because of where you're vibrating. So if you know that you're vibrating higher, guess what? Your body is protecting you from falling into what people call sickness, right? So even if you're around people who are sick, it doesn't bother you. You don't catch anything. Why? Because you're not vibrating on the frequency to be susceptible to sickness. So because we have physical bodies, what you eat and consume plays into that. All right. So this went deep, y'all. Fish is at the bottom. Go with the flow. Don't fight the rocks. Yes. Swimming upstream will not serve you. Yes. Universe supports your decisions. Trust your path and guidance. Creative solutions. Relax, let go, release control. Keep going, moving. Okay. So that's what I have for y'all. I trust that those who needed it received it. Other than that, I love y'all so much. Like I said, if you want to book a reading, please follow my instructions. Okay. So what happened to other people don't happen to you. All right. Super chat is a donation. Okay. I don't see the notifications. I don't get them either because my channel isn't eligible for them right now. So it's like, how was I even to be aware? Okay. So email, Facebook DM, or TikTok DM. Okay. Let me know that you want to book a reading, and the money goes to my Cash App. The energetic exchange, okay, goes to the Cash App. All right. So I love you so much. Until next time, howdy.